Hello, Miss Mariah Day here. I am here to finish up some of the stuff that we had from our last class when we were doing the properties of elements lab. So you've already taken a lot of the properties of the physical and one of the chemical properties as it reacts with copper 2 chloride for aluminum, carbon, copper, bismuth, magnesium, silicone, sulfur, and zinc. So I'm going to do this last little demonstration. This was from your data table this section of your data table, so we're going to fill out this together through this little video. So I'm going to start out with about 6 milliliters of 1 molar hydrochloric acid to react with each one of these elements. Then we're going to make some observations. Some of them are going to take a little minute, so I'll put it in with the aluminum, and we'll wait a moment, and then I'll put it in with the carbon. We'll wait a moment. We'll put it in with the copper, we'll wait a moment, and then we'll come back towards the end. So I'm going to start out with about 6 milliliters of this, like I said, with the aluminum. So that's what the aluminum looks like. You took some observations of it last class. So I'm just going to add a little bit of that, switch it around, kind of show you what we've got so far. I'm going to set that aside. Then I'm going to do 6 milliliters of hydrochloric acid with the carbon. So again, remember that carbon was that kind of chalky looking black substance. And we've got some copper. I've got some copper strips in there, and then also 1 large piece of copper. Again, only 1 molar hydrochloric acid, so it's not a super strong acid. It is an acid, so I'll show you what we got there. Then we've got our bismuth. Bismuth here, remember, is kind of a fairly dense substance, meaning that it was very heavy per amount of volume. So we've got that going on. I'm going to add a little bit more hydrochloric acid to each of my graduated cylinders. So as you remember, as a reminder of what it means to have a chemical reactions, evidence of a chemical reaction would be the bubble formation, a color change, any of those things to kind of you see something happening in the beaker or in the test tube. So this one I'm a little bit less than 6 milliliters, but it's okay. We'll be able to hopefully see something. So this is the magnesium. Those are those little strips of metal looking things. So I'm going to add that there. Notice immediately we saw something. So it was very quick to react. So that one isn't. I'm going to go ahead and add that to our data table. So magnesium is a yes. And because it reacted so quickly, let's add 2 exclamation points. And we'll come back to the reasons for that probably next class. All right. So magnesium's still reacting there. You might hear a little bit of the fizzing happening. So I'm going to take, here's the silicone. It kind of looks like a sparkly black substance. I'm going to add again some hydrochloric acid here. Alright, then we've got sulfur. That was the yellow kind of a little bit smelly powder. Alright, so trying to react that with the hydrochloric acid. It's acting very similar the way that it did with the copper 2 chloride. The copper 2 chloride, there was no reaction, so far at least. And then I've got the zinc, our last one here. So I'm going to add again that copper 2 chloride. Oh, excuse the bell. All right, so this right here is the zinc. So if you look really carefully, you can see that there's small little bubbles forming on there. So I'm going to come back very briefly, kind of show you what we've got going on. There's very, very, very little tiny bubbles happening in this one with aluminum. Very little. But I would say because there's just a small amount, it still would be considered to be a yes, which I'm going to write up at the board here for you. So, but you go ahead and maybe write either yes really small or a yes and it is a little bit. Then we've got the carbon. The carbon, still nothing happened, not even a little single bubble, so we're going to write no. Then we've got the copper. It's going to be acting very similar to zinc. It's very, very little bubbles, which are kind of difficult to see in this video. So we're also going to write, yes, little, but a little bit. Bismuth, there's been no formation of bubbles, there's been no heat, nothing has happened, no color change. So that one is going to be a no. We've already determined that magnesium is a yes, but just to give you a heads up of what it looks like at this point. So there is still some bubbles forming there. And here we have silicone. Silicone, no bubbles, no color change, nothing happening there. So silicone is going to be a no. Then we've got the sulfur. The sulfur, it did not. So notice that it's just kind of hanging out on the top, on the surface of that hydrochloric acid. So that is also a no. Then we've got zinc. So zinc took its little time. So there is a slight discoloration in the hydrochloric acid. There are small little tiny bubbles, and you might be able to hear it. No, it's a little bit tricky to hear, I'm sure. So that one is a yes, but not as small amount as aluminum or copper. So our main one that had the most reaction is going to be magnesium, which we're going to review next time we're in class together, because this does relate to your learning target, long-term learning target that will be in a couple weeks here. So the magnesium, that's in group 2. Your learning target, as a reminder, is that you should be able to predict the relative reactivities of any metal in group 1, 2, or 3. So we'll get more deep into that, but this is one more step to getting to where we need to be. If you have questions on this, or if you missed this lab last class, please email me or send me a remind message. If you have not yet signed up for the remind, remember that the remind is on the wall over here for each individual period. There's a different code. You can also go to the website to sign up for the remind, and they're on the home page. You can sign up there as well. So RHS Chem is the website. mdade@pps.net is my email. And I hope that you have a good day. I appreciate you watching this. And again, have a great day. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.